Hello, hello everyone. It's me, Arden Lee. I am back today with another video, and in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about how much we so often allow our beliefs about our limitations keep us from having fun. Oh my goodness. All these things that we believe, the way that we believe things are or should be, or the limitations that are upon us, how much do we allow things to really limit us? Before I jump into that topic, as always, I would love to invite you to subscribe to my channel. I love to talk on this channel about ways that we can reframe our thoughts, our beliefs, and the ways that we see the world so that we can open up more opportunities for ourselves, so that we can really set ourselves on paths to success and abundance and fulfillment and achieving all of our goals and getting all our dreams in line, getting our heads screwed on straight. So so if that sounds like something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you here. I would love to stay in your feed. So yeah, let's stay connected. So the reason I'm making this video today is there's an account that I follow for really just for the content. A lot of it is really educational. It's a lot about advocacy, and I really enjoy the education that I get from this particular account. So I see a lot of value in it, and I'm really grateful to the person who runs it for creating content that has educated me. So that's partly why I'm not I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna I don't want to throw shade at all, but I noticed something that made me really sad. The woman who runs the account jumped online to all her followers the other day, and she was really upset. She was crying. She had lost her makeup bag somehow, and she had plans either later that night, I guess. She'd had plans to go and see a bunch of her friends, and I guess she hadn't really seen them in a while, and she was really looking forward to it. And she was really upset, saying, now I can't go because I don't have my makeup bag, and without makeup I'm ugly. I have an ugly face, and I can't possibly go out and see these people who I haven't seen in forever with my ugly face with no makeup on. And so I'm really upset, and there's no way I can buy it in time. There's no way that I can get to it, so I'm just gonna have to miss out. And I've noticed these things sometimes in people who are a lot of people who are working in advocacy. I think about this a lot because advocacy is something that is really important to me and something that I really believe in incredibly strongly. But I often see examples where people who are really strong advocates for fairness, for equality, for accessibility, for for making things making things fair for everyone. I sometimes wonder how much their confirmation bias gets maybe a little off center because their jobs and their soul mission, their work that they're doing in the world, involves looking for problems. And that doesn't mean that advocacy is bad. I think hopefully everyone on this channel who watches me knows that I'm a really big advocate for equality, and I'm a really big advocate for feminism, racial equality, accessibility, trans rights, LGBT rights, all of these things. But I think that it's really important also that we as advocates learn how to take care of ourselves and remember to also give ourselves the life that we want before the world makes that fair for everyone else. And because if we give ourselves the life that we want, we can serve better when we have a full cup. If we're dealing with fewer issues for ourselves, then we can do better and better work in the world to make the world a better and safer place for other people too. And I find that I have another video about this called your it's something with martyr in the title, like you're not obligated to make a martyr out of yourself. It's not your responsibility to make a martyr out of yourself just to prove to everyone that the world isn't fair. It's something like that, but if you're interested, you can look up the title of that video. It's on my channel. But I think it's really, really important that we remember that just because we are advocates for fairness and equality in the world doesn't mean that we have to make an example out of ourselves to show everyone how bad we have it. And this particular account does that a lot by showing specifically how the world is not set up for her, the person who runs the account, to be able to exist as peacefully as everyone else. And I totally get that. And like I said, I follow the account because it's been really educational to me and it's really expanded a lot of my awareness. But I got really sad seeing this video of hers the other day where she basically said, I can't go to this thing that I really wanted to go to because I don't have my makeup bag and my face is ugly without makeup. And the ridiculous thing was, I had been thinking to myself just how pretty she was. I was like, oh my gosh, if I had a bone structure like that, if I had like her nose is so symmetrical, it's got this tiny little ski slope and it's adorable. Her cheekbones are so high. She has this lovely like kind of square jaw, but it's so symmetrical, and these big eyes and perfect eyebrows. And I was just like, wow, I was shocked actually that she really says she believes that she is ugly without makeup. And I was like, wow, that's so sad that she feels that way about herself. And I so wish that I could give her my perspective, the way that I see her, as being really beautiful. And yeah, of course she looks very glamorous with makeup on and she looks lovely, but not to the point where I would ever, if I were a friend of hers, how would I would never in a million years judge her for coming out to dinner to hang out and not having put makeup on. And I thought of the irony about it. I was like, so you're afraid to go and meet a group of what, six to eight people, I assume, for dinner, at a dinner that you wanted, a little casual get together that you wanted to go to, but you're getting on your phone and you're broadcasting to your thousands and thousands of followers without makeup on because somehow that's different. You're okay with showing your face with no makeup on to the whole internet, but you don't feel comfortable getting together with some friends of yours. And I was like, wow, I really felt for her. Like I said, I don't want to throw any shade. I think she's doing incredible work, and I wish that it's like I wish, I see some people sometimes and I'm like, I wish that they wanted to work with me, because there's so much opportunity that I could open up for them just by showing them what's possible for themselves. And it's I think, like I said, it's hard sometimes when you're literally in a line of work that causes you to look for problems, so you can point them out to the world and point out how the world isn't fair. And I think it's important for all of us who are advocates to start looking for more and more solutions, not only because we want to look for solutions for to implement within the world, but also because we want to train ourselves to look for solutions as well, solutions for our personal lives, solutions for ourselves. We want to start being solution oriented in our confirmation bias, so that we can start to say, instead of saying, here are all the reasons I can't do this, to say like, oh, here's some ways that I can do this, or I can do that. So I have a story as well, about a possibility that I didn't even realize I was denying myself. I've been, as you guys have probably noticed, between, creating my coursework in this past year, putting out my music in this past year, and spending the previous year on a really deep trauma healing journey. I didn't have a lot of funds to allocate for, or time for that matter, to allocate for like fun and vacation and blah blah blah. And I was like, well, if I want to have fun, I'll just I don't know, I'll throw my own retreat, like I'll figure out how to have fun and monetize it, I guess. But But there was another account, a different account that I was following on Instagram of this woman who was posting all of her photos of her trip to Bali, and it looked so marvelous and so cool. And I was like, man, I wish I could go there, but I've got so much work to do. I've got, like, I can't, like, and then I stopped and I was like, how much of that, like, maybe that's true that I have a lot of work on my plate right now, but I could at the very least start to open up the possibility for the future. I was like, well, if I really wanted to take a trip somewhere, when would I be able to do this? And I was like, I thought to myself, and this was a couple weeks ago, I was like, probably April or May, I could like take a real vacation somewhere. I think by that time I would be in a groove enough that I could take that time off. And so just a couple days ago, I actually ran into this woman at an event, that I guess I shouldn't have been like surprised that she was there, but I wasn't really expecting to run into her. But it was, at a studio where, she and her friends sometimes socialize or whatever. So sure enough, I ran into her and I decided to go ahead and pay her a compliment. And I said, hey, I want to thank you. I said, I follow your Instagram account and I really appreciate it because you've shown me so many opportunities for what I'm not allowing myself. I said, I've been wanting to take a vacation for a while. I've been working so hard and I keep saying like, no, I have to work. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I said, and I looked at your Instagram account and I said, why am I not allowing myself that possibility right now? Why am I not going to Bali? Like, why am I not opening up that possibility for myself to manifest in the way that's in alignment with a timing that feels good to me or whatever? So thank you so much for the content you post, because now I'm starting to think about that. And she goes, oh, well, I'm going to be back in Bali in March for Spirit Festival. You should come. She goes, she's like, here, I'm officially inviting you. And I was like, wow, cool. Thank you. That sounds really cool. So, at the time, I really didn't think all that much about it, but I met a couple other people at the event, and I looked into it. I was like, all right, Spirit Festival, Bali, and I was like, oh, all right, so it's the last week of March, and I said, oh, that's really interesting, because that's like a week after my 8-week course, the Repatterning Project, wraps up. So that would actually kind of be an ideal time for me to take a vacation, because I would have just finished teaching my course, and that seems like, oh, let's go and unwind or what have you. And I had also been thinking about, well, should I really spend that much money on a vacation when what I really want to be doing is putting my money into my music production? And then I stopped and thought about that too, and I was like, Arden, you don't have your next album written. Why are you worried about funding your music before that happens? That feels kind of silly. So I thought about it and I was like, yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure that when it does come time for me to get back into the studio again, yeah, it's nice to have that reserve there, but also it's going to take me time. I'm going to be paying for this as I go. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to allot some money to, to travel around the world and do some cool things. So sure enough, I looked at the website for this festival that's happening in the last week of March, and from what it said on their site, it actually looks like they're still looking for presenters. So and on top of that, 2 people that I'm going to be teaching with in January 6th, by the way, if you're interested, find the details. It's called the Feast of Your Epiphanies, and it's going to be, because it's on January 6th and we're cute, it's going to be me, Jamie Lee Finch, and Aura North, and we're going to be teaching a New Year's themed intention setting, manifestation, and intention setting, and like setting your goals, getting your vibration high, like being in that really good space at the start of the year so that you can have a smooth path forward and know what your goals are and know what you're creating, and be able to be in as much ease and flow with that as possible. So I'm super stoked about that. Definitely, if you want information about that, reach out to me. January 6th. We're going to be doing that on Zoom, so it's going to be online. It's going to be accessible to everyone. So sure enough, one of my co-facilitators from that workshop is actually going to be in Australia at that time, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's just such a quick flight over to Bali from Australia." So yeah, are you kidding? Like, I would absolutely go and teach with you. And And the other co-facilitator was like, yeah, I've been looking to manifest a Bali trip sometime in March or April. So I was like, oh my goodness. So sure enough, I wrote to them, and I haven't heard back yet. So I don't know if it'll happen or not. And even if they don't book us as presenters, it could still be fun to go together. I'm sure we would have a really lovely time. It just means they book us as presenters, it's going to be a little more cost effective. So essentially, when you're manifesting something, the universe will kind of send it through the easiest pipeline possible. So as long as you release your attachments to the ways that it shows up. So whether I get booked as a presenter, or the universe just decides, well, we're gonna give you a couple extra people in your course that you're teaching before then, and that's gonna cover your trip. Whatever way that manifests, I trust that if this is something that I really want, that it's going to show up for me. So there's two examples basically of using your ideas about reality and your ideas about what is possible and what is acceptable to determine what kind of experiences you have. And like, when are you locking yourself out of an experience for imagined perceived judgments on you that probably aren't happening, for ways that you feel like you're going to be rejected or ignored, or yes, it's always great to listen to your body and to listen to discernment and to decide what's right for you or what's not. But if there was something that you really wanted to do, and something like losing your makeup bag gets in the way, just I don't know, man, just like it seems not quite necessary to allow a belief about your appearance keep you, especially when you're already really quite attractive, to keep you from having the fun experience that you want to have. And something like a trip to the other side of the world, a trip to Bali, sounds like it's something that's going to be like 6 months to a year off in your future. Start looking at well, how could this show up sooner, or what are the possibilities here? How could I make this work? And I really think that that's going to be helpful for removing your limiting beliefs, removing just getting all of those attachments out of the way so that things can show up in the way that they're in alignment. So that's been helpful for me. I hope it's helpful for you too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.